What is up, everybody? Hope you guys are all enjoying your wonderful afternoon or morning here. This is going to be my first upload of today on Major Winter Storm Gale. It's already bringing very heavy snow already for portions of DC, much of Virginia, and already bringing snow down to big cities like Pittsburgh, Harrisburg, and even continue to bring some snow as well, all the way as far west as Ohio. So it is already bringing in some dangerous conditions, and it has already brought ice all the way down to the Georgia mountains and North Carolina. So this is going to be a very widespread threat here as the snow begins, as well looking for very strong winds here. So definitely looking at whiteout conditions up to 3 feet of snowfall, and really absolutely crazy, and one of the biggest snowstorms we've seen in the Northeast in quite a few years here. But before we get into the video, please subscribe if you're new, especially if you live in the Northeast. I want to have a lot of uploads out today, so if you want to get really data every few hours, be sure to subscribe. I know local news may be on it, but of course you also have this in a more detailed forecast as well. If you have any questions in the comments, be sure to drop them in there, and I will give you my best answer for whatever snowfall you're going to get or whatever. But without further ado, let's get into Windstorm Gale's coverage. So here's a look now at the National Weather Service, and as you can tell, we are seeing, I believe, up to 72 million people under some type of winter weather alert on the East Coast here from Gale. So we have winter weather advisory stretching as far south as the southern Appalachians in Georgia and North Carolina, where we did see actually some freezing rain and sleet earlier this morning here, but as temperatures do start to warm up, we will start to see just that rain across areas of the coastal areas of the Carolinas and much of Georgia and Alabama. But this is where we have the big threat here in these windstorm warnings here. These warnings, I believe, include around 50. No, I believe 58 million people are under a windstorm warning here. I'm not exactly 100% sure there, but these warnings stretch all the way up near the northwestern portion of the Appalachians and North Carolina there near Boone, all the way up the crest of the mountain regions, all the way up into southern Maine here. So we have New York City under winter warning here, expecting up to 8 to 15 inches of snowfall. Boston expecting around 1.5 feet. Even coastal areas in Connecticut and Rhode Island have winter warnings here, as we are going to be seeing very cold temperatures that's going to help allow that snow really fall down for coastal areas. Almost the whole state of Pennsylvania is under some type of winter warning here, and this has not happened in a while. We have that many warnings at the same time for Pennsylvania. Warnings for Albany, State College, Philadelphia, all the way to Pittsburgh, and then of course all the way up to Roanoke area as well. DC trying to get some snow there. You guys are now finally under a winter weather advisory, I believe. So yep, you guys are under winter weather advisory, but Charlesville, Stanton, all the way up to Cumberland, and Hagerstown, we have as well winter warnings there. Since you guys are just outside the Appalachians, you guys are expecting twice as much snowfall as there is east of I-75 here. So, or I believe I-95, I believe so. I-95, we're going to be seeing around that freezing line here, where it does stretch all the way up into areas like this general region, I-95. So really, it's going to be a big mess across big highways, especially including the tri-state area. But let's take a look now at first-hand view webcams for big cities. So this is a look now at DC here. This is Washington, D.C. webcam, and it's kind of hard to see the snow, but you can maybe see some big flurries around this general area here in the WAMO webcam across the monuments here. So you kind of have the monument line right here. Of course, there will be the Capitol building, of course, way down here somewhere. You can't see it, but we are starting to see some snow flurries across these areas. This snow is really starting to come down now. It will be really hard to actually see accumulation, though, as you guys are about 36 degrees right now. So you guys in DC really won't get below freezing. So snowfall totals will be less than 2 inches here, because you guys are just south of that freezing line. And with the freezing line of this storm, it's either heavy rain or heavy snow, and that's going to be within a few miles away here. So areas just north of DC here are seeing up to 1.5 feet of snow, but areas in DC are seeing less than an inch here, and that's just a few counties difference. Maybe a 15-minute drive is going to be an 8-inch difference, and that is crazy to think about. That doesn't happen much, but with the place with a storm, the way it's interacting, it's going to cause a big change. It's going to be heavy rain, ice, or heavy snow. So there's going to be up to a foot difference for a few mile drive here. But you can see that snow is coming down They obviously have salted the roads here, but really there shouldn't be an issue in DC here. Now let's take a look now at Baltimore. This is a different story here in Baltimore here. So as you do see, it is steady at 32 degrees, and this is 11:20 Eastern time, which is exactly what time it is right now. And as you can tell, on areas in the coastal region of the Atlantic, we are going to be seeing very strong winds. And this is the Baltimore Inner Harbor. And you're seeing, oh, look at that little pelican right there. They're probably having some nice fun here. They're probably not used to it this early, because usually you don't see snow in December in Baltimore, Philadelphia. But this is 2020. This storm represents 2020 here. I mean, look at all that snow really falling down there. We're going to start seeing accumulation very soon. It is steady at freezing, so we should start to see accumulation coming in right now for areas like ceilings or roofs or bushes, but really it'll take a while to actually get accumulation on the cement. Baltimore, you guys are looking at around 3 to 6 inches of snowfall here, but this is going to be very interesting here. You guys will be pretty steady at freezing, but for a few hours it will be above freezing here. That's going to help allow kind of the ice and rain to come in effect, so that's going to really make that slushy rain. That's why exactly it's going to be very little accumulation compared to what we thought a few days ago, but it is really coming down right now. Very low visibility and more pelicans coming in. Not pelicans, those are I believe those are not pelicans. Why did I say pelicans? Those are seagulls. I just realized I said pelicans. Alright, that's embarrassing. I meant to say seagulls. Alright, my bad. But look at all those seagulls really having fun there. There's that snow coming in, of course, from the southwest here. But we are going to be seeing those winds from the southeast coming off that low pressure that's currently off the Carolina coast here, but as it does advance more to the north, we will start to see some heavier snow. Yeah, heavier snow for Baltimore, absolutely. We're going to be seeing heavier snow for this region. And then we have as well Pittsburgh. This is the skyline here, Pittsburgh skyline. There you can see the Heinz factory, I believe so. So we are starting to see really heavy snow now, very low visibility. Here we're going to be seeing a lot more snow, up to near a foot of snow for Pittsburgh. You guys are under a windstorm warning here. You're going to see that snow. It's really hard to see, but it's probably a good inch or two on so far for easy surfaces such as roofs. But no seagulls here, obviously, but we are going to start seeing an interesting amount of snowfall here. We're not seeing seagulls, but we will see a good amount of accumulation of snow here. There's a Heinz factory as well. It's the further west we go, really the worst conditions we're going here. That's exactly what we're seeing right now, kind of towards the western half of I-95 where we have the Appalachians. That's where we'll be seeing really the most amount of snowfall. And as well, areas like south central New York and northeastern Pennsylvania could see the most amount of snowfall from this whole storm. Here's a look now at Pittsburgh here, or not Pittsburgh, sorry. This is a look at Philadelphia. Philadelphia right now, very cold at 31 degrees. You guys are just at freezing here as we wake up this great morning. And you do see there's really no snow right now. There could be a few scattered flurries, but we will start to see some snow right now, but it's very dry. This really is really dry air right now. We have a very dry atmosphere currently in Philadelphia, but as we now get that low pressure getting soon very close in the next few hours, that's when we'll start to see that snowfall. So it'll be a whole different story here for Philadelphia if you look 12 hours from now. Definitely looking at anywhere from 3 to 6 inches there in Philadelphia. A huge decrease compared to a few days ago because, of course, you guys are going to be struggling to get below freezing. Right now you guys are, and you will be for the next few hours. But once we get down to tonight, tonight you think temperatures get colder, but they get warmer, up to 37 to 40 degrees here. So it's going to really warm up quite a bit in the next after that snow comes down. And then at that point, it's going to really struggle to get back below freezing here. So you guys are going to be seeing snow for a few hours, 4 to 6 hours. That's where you get that accumulation. And then that rain and sleet will come and mess it all up. So enjoy that snow while it lasts, because once it starts to rain and the sleet comes in, it's going to be just ice now. No snow, just going to be ice. To that rain and when you wake up, finally will be below freezing. That's where we'll be seeing some big ice starts, maybe even some black ice. But let's take a look now at the next few models here. So here's looking at the main European model here, and as you do see, this is kind of what they have in the next few hours here. Started seeing that snow really coming down in Pittsburgh. We already saw that webcam here, and we're seeing that snow really coming down in Baltimore, where you saw those seagulls, not pelicans, seagulls. So that's where we're starting to see that snow as well coming to DC. So you guys are gonna enjoy that snow. You're probably thinking in DC, all right, it's starting off as snow, so I'm gonna get way more than an inch. Well, just wait, but you'll see in the next few hours here, it's going to get above freezing, and that rain right here is going to really come in, and as well, you guys are as well going to see more of a sleet and ice threat instead. But very heavy snow coming down there in portions of West Virginia, or Western Virginia, and then West Virginia, and those Appalachians on the border portion. Roanoke getting some ice and sleet, but it's really coming down now for portions of Western Maryland and Northern West Virginia, having a few snow showers there, Cincinnati and Indianapolis, and even a few snow showers as far as Chicago and Detroit. And then look, there you see the next few hours, there's that rain to come in for areas of Maryland, and as well for portions of D.C., areas like Virginia Beach, really as well as areas like Richmond. You guys really missed out on the snow here, but really, you know who's not going to miss on the snow? Pennsylvania, Virginia, and New Jersey, even portions of New York. Really, all these areas are not going to miss out whatsoever. I mean, it's going to be a few 1,000 square miles of just pure snow, over a foot of snow. We're looking at very heavy snow coming in now for Pittsburgh in the next few hours, Greencastle, far northern Virginia, and even seeing some very heavy snow now for portions of eastern Ohio. You really don't think about Ohio when it comes to Gail, but eastern Ohio can get a ton of snowfall. I mean, we're really focusing on the northeast, but we can't forget about the Ohio region here. But that's going to start reaching areas by the next. By around 12 a.m. on Thursday morning, technically, that snow is coming down more into New York City there. New Jersey just issued a state of emergency, and it comes into effect by 2 o'clock. And that's going to make, you know what, it's going to, the reason for that is because we are going to be seeing that heavy snow for big cities like Newark, as well as New York City just to the east there across the Hudson River. And then you see that very heavy snow continuing across areas in the New England area. We're going to possibly see blizzard conditions, whiteout conditions for portions of the Delaware River. Boston, because of that onshore breeze there, because there you see that low pressure. That's going to help bring those really strong winds there. You're going to see in the next few minutes, you're going to be seeing those really strong winds coming in the next few tabs. I'm going to start showing those wind gusts up to 60-mile-an-hour gusts there with very heavy snow. We're seeing at the 40-mile-an-hour sustains, but the gusts will be a lot stronger, especially in bigger cities here. And it all ends by around Thursday evening, if not Friday morning. But what we're seeing right now, let's actually see. This is kind of what we're seeing right now. So this is kind of what we're seeing right now. Currently, it's not exactly currently, but this is kind of somewhat what we're seeing. So you see that ice mix continuing to DC. You're going to start seeing, obviously, that snow flurries we're seeing right now. Very big ice starts continuing for Roanoke. But here you see, though, that really heavy snow developing there for areas to the west of I-95. So really, if you live on I-95, you're basically on the freezing line. I mean, the freezing line is like right on I-95. So if you're just to the east, like Philadelphia or Trenton, you guys are going to get less than 3 inches. But if you're to the west by a few miles, you're getting up to 1.5 feet. So that's the big difference here. It's exactly why it's so hard to predict snow for Philadelphia this storm, or for DC, or for Baltimore. It's so hard to predict for you guys because you guys are right on the freezing line. I mean, it can go from the snow could possibly stay more to the south longer than expected, or the snow ends sooner than expected. So that's really the hard thing. But we really know for sure for New York City, we know for sure for Albany, portions of central Pennsylvania, you guys are going to get the heaviest snow for sure, without a doubt. By later now, in the next 15 hours, by around the morning hours of Thursday, really early in the hours, around 4 a.m., 6 a.m., rush hour, that snow would be at its worst for Boston, at its worst there for New York City, there at its worst for Albany, very big cities in the way of this. We're also going to be seeing some big waves of heavy snow across areas like New England as well. Continue to see some heavy waves there as well as far south as Long Island, the coast there. I mean, this is going to be a coastal threat as well. I mean, look at that. That snow's so far down the coast here. You don't see that much. You don't see that much whatsoever here where it goes that far south in December here. You don't really see that whatsoever. It's a few year event here. And look at that. This is just going to be a big wintry mess. Snowfall total for the European. Absolutely just mind-blowing. These colors really are, some of these colors are exciting people. Some of them are scaring people because they are just sick of the snow here. But you shouldn't be sick of the snow if you live in this general region here, because it's, these areas like New York City, Philadelphia, Allentown, you guys have gotten very little snow in the past 3 years. So this will make up for it. I mean, some of you guys will get more snow in Gail than you guys saw together in the past 2 seasons, like New York City, like Philadelphia. You guys got like 0.3 of an inch in Philadelphia last year, and I believe an inch 2 years ago. So even if you guys went down to 3 to 7 inches, it's still a lot of snow compared to what you guys have seen the past few years. And you guys don't typically get that much snow in December. And this is going to prove 2020 is a weird year when it comes to weather here. 1 to 2 inches there could to come there for Indianapolis, maybe 3 inches for Columbus. But of course, can't forget Eastern Ohio near Youngstown, up to 8 to 10 inches there. Pittsburgh, looking at 12 to 15 inches, a lot, of course, in the Poconos and South Central New York, looking at about maybe 2.5 feet of snowfall there, getting very close to 3 feet. I mean, 3 feet, they do actually have 43.2 inches right here. So 3 feet is definitely most likely very possible. 16 plus inches there for Allentown, going to be very snowy Delaware River there. DC, you guys are right on that trace snow. And look at that. I believe I-95 goes right through here. I believe so. I believe it goes like right there. So if you're just to the south of I-95, you're getting nothing. You're getting nothing whatsoever unless you're in New York City. But if you're just to the west, you're getting an absolute just monster snowfall here. I mean, for example, that's why New Jersey issued a state of emergency here. Pennsylvania, I believe, issued a disaster warning or something like, or not warning, but disaster alert. I believe so. So I mean, this is serious. This is really serious. I mean, 2 feet for State College. Greencastle around 19 plus inches there. Portions of Virginia, West Virginia, and Maryland all together there. You guys will be looking at a good amount of snowfall in those 3 border states there. Looking at around 1.5 feet for New York City. They did salt the roads this morning, and they're salting the roads right now for Boston. You guys are getting about 1 foot of snow. Providence around 14 inches. Newport looking at around the same thing. So this is going to be a big coastal event. New Haven getting near 2 feet of snow. That is just really, really rare. GFS is continuing to increase snowfall totals for New England there. They're still showing around 1 inch to 2 inches maybe for DC. So, I mean, you guys would be lucky to get more than 1 inch. But, of course, again, it's going to be very unpredictable for you guys. You guys can probably get maybe 2 inches. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised because since you guys are right in the freezing line, it's either you're going to get less snow or more than expected here. As you do see in the Poconos there, 29 inches there. Right here, they're showing 40.1 inches of snowfall. So it's looking like a big deal here. State College, 26 plus inches there. Pittsburgh looking at about 6 to 7 inches there as well. The GFS looking at around 26 plus inches there for portions of far eastern West Virginia. This is snowfall to come, though. So really, you guys are really increasing. If you're Philadelphia, you guys are really increasing the snowfall when it comes to the GFS, looking at about 8 plus inches. So again, since you guys are right in the freezing line, you guys shouldn't get disappointed for the downcast of a few inches. I mean, it can still get more than expected because you guys are right on that freezing line. You're a few miles away from 1.5 feet and a few miles away from nothing. Boston around 14 to 16 inches of snowfall. Albany around 1 foot of snow there. And look at the coastal areas still getting around 1/2 foot or more. Very, very impressive for Newport and New Haven. Last but not least, we're going to be checking out the NAM, and then we'll take a look at the winds, and then we'll wrap up my first video of the day. Snowfall to come there for far eastern Ohio, around 8 plus inches of snow. Looking really at only a trace there for Baltimore or DC. If you look at Baltimore webcam, we're like, there's no way. They're at 31 degrees right now, and they're not getting snow, or it's not going to accumulate. I mean, it's really coming down. We saw on the webcam. The thing is, that rain's going to come in very, very soon. I mean, it's a few hours, or it's less than a few hours away from coming in. Looking at around as well, 30 inches there for portions of the Poconos in the far northeastern portion there of Pennsylvania. I mean, Allentown, you guys are looking around 1 foot of snow there. Philadelphia, only around 3 to 5 inches on the base on the NAM. Areas like Albany looking around 2 feet of snow, as well as Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island. The whole state of Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Rhode Island will get over 7 plus inches. I mean, that is really, really crazy to think about how widespread the snow will be. Of course, we're looking at really strong winds here. I mean, gale warning. We have high wind warnings, I believe so, and flood warnings here. I mean, this is the next few hours. We're going to start seeing up to 35 to 45 mile-an-hour wind gusts for portions of the mid-Atlantic, and it gets really worse by tonight here. Of course, the worst snowfall will be tonight, overnight, or not tonight, but tomorrow morning, technically, on the rush hour. And look where we're going to be seeing these winds at that same time. 40 to 50 mile-an-hour wind gusts, and near the Baltimore region and near the Philadelphia region, we're looking at 55 mile-an-hour wind gusts there. As well, now by later into Thursday morning here, around, this is, I believe, 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, they're showing up to around a 76 mile-an-hour wind gust just off the coast. There are 52 there into New Jersey, looking at around up to 50 to 60 minor wind gusts there at the same time where the heaviest of the snow will be. Then, as that low pressure advances to the east, there's that strong winds now coming for Boston. There you see how close those isobars are. There are those winds coming in, and then they go straight down for areas like or straight to the west there for Boston. Areas near as well Portland, going to be a very big wind event there, and as well going to bring some very strong winds for Nova Scotia.